Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper, and I'm going to go through my weekly planning process. I do consider this to be a functional planning because it is pen and paper. It is writing down what's scheduled and what I'd like to get done. And I'm not in this planning process focusing on necessarily the aesthetic of it. I do my planning in a Hobonichi Hone, which is the hardcover version of a Hobonichi Cousin, has the same setup as a Hobonichi Cousin. If that's not something you're familiar with, the Hobonichi is a Japanese brand, and it has, in my opinion, all of the features of a planner all in one book. So it has this 6 month on a spread index, which you can use for habit tracking. You can use for indexing something to remind yourself of what happened on that day. You can also use it for birthdays or forward planning. And then it has monthlies. It has weeklies with time. It is in, I call it military time, but the 24 hours. So 1 o'clock is going to be represented by a 13. There is an English version this year that I think has that as Americans would typically use it, but I've been using the Hobonichi for so long that I've adjusted well to it. And then each day has its own page. It again has a timepiece, some boxes up here. But again, for me, I view that as kind of the total package of a planner. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up for the week of April 22nd. I'm just coming off of a vacation week where I didn't really do a whole lot. That's exactly how I wanted it to be. And now I'm going to get back into the groove of things. It is currently almost 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and my son has had a high fever the last couple of days. And when we took it first thing this morning, it was still a little bit over 102. So there's a chance he's staying home from school tomorrow. I do have a cup of coffee here because I like to sip coffee or tea, occasionally wine, sometimes gin while I plan. um, but yeah, so today is a coffee day. If my son does stay home tomorrow, I will be staying home with him. And that works for me. I do have an IEP meeting that it's scheduled to be a remote meeting or a virtual meeting, so I can participate in that from home. Then next up, I have an 8:15. This is a lower elementary consult. If this is also your first time watching my planning process, I am a board certified behavior analyst, and I work in a public school district across 4 different buildings. So I denote that by lower elementary, which is pre-K through 2, upper elementary, which is 3 through 5, middle school, which is 6 through 8, and high school, which is 9 through 12. So that's where the UE is upper elementary, LE is lower elementary. I have in my Google Calendar the notes of what specific meetings these are, but for confidentiality purposes, this is the extent of the information that I include here. I do have an 8:30 IEP meeting. And then at 11:55, I have a bi-weekly upper elementary consult for 1 student. And then, why did that, anywho. This usually happens on the same week, but I don't know why it's in different weeks this month. But 1 o'clock, I'm meeting upper elementary We have an admin BCBA meeting. And then Wednesday, just making sure I'm still in frame. I can move it over a little bit. Apologies, I do turn while I write. At 8 o'clock, I have a lower elementary consult. At 9 o'clock, I have an upper elementary consult. And this covers, the first one covers one student, the second one covers about 7 students. I've got that 10:15 IEP meeting via Zoom. And then at 12:30, this one is to review kind of all students in the building. So that's a variable number of students. And then at 1:30, I have an AIM, social emotional learning curriculum meeting. And then at 2 o'clock, I have a lower elementary consult. This therapy is moved to Friday at 4 o'clock. My therapist and I are having a difficult time scheduling this one, but I think this is the final one. And I have a little bit of allergy, so occasionally I feel like I sound stuffy. Perhaps I don't. There we go. 8:15. I don't know. This is one that I'm going to start fading out of because I've got the team set up with their behavior support plan, their data collection. We've been monitoring and tweaking the plan, been meeting with the student and modeling those meetings with the student for check-ins on goal setting and such. So I think now I'm at a point where I can start to pull back a little bit and allow the team to take the reins and then just do a little checks and balance to make sure that the decisions they're making are in line with the data that we have. And then I have my kindergarten AIM. I have to, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip to the daily for Monday because I need to figure out, put that here. So I'm putting that, it's called a pencil board there, so that if the ink is not completely dry, it's not going to smudge on the page that it's touching. And what I'm going to put right here is I need to confirm my middle school AIM group daytime. So I did talk about this in one of my more recent videos, but because I work across the district, there are some buildings or sorry, some meetings that I have on my schedule that kind of set it and forget it. However, the middle school operates on a 3-week rotating schedule. So they have a week A, week B, and week C schedule. And so if I have a direct service that I'm providing for a middle school student or a group of students, that time changes each week. And because one of the students recently had a schedule change now, and I added a consult to my schedule, so now there's a scheduling conflict. I am also changing not just the time, but also the day each week. So it will either be Thursday or Friday each week. So it's just a level of variability that I've got to work around. All right, and then at 1 o'clock, I have a upper elementary IEP meeting. 2 o'clock, I have a middle school. This is a different one from what I just went on a little side explanation about. I do right now, I'm doing 2 middle school direct service AIM groups. And AIM is a social emotional curriculum that is based on the methodologies of applied behavior analysis. And then 2:30 is a middle school consult. Friday is now, I have an 8:15 lower elementary consult. 9 o'clock crisis. 10 o'clock middle school consult. 12 o'clock BCBA. 4 o'clock therapy. And I should have put this up a line. I'm going to see some local musicians with some friends of mine on Friday evening. And then this Saturday, we are going to Maine. And we're doing an overnight because my husband is running a 10-miler on Sunday. So we've got a hotel that we can bring our dog, and we're going to make a little family getaway out of it. All right, so now we flip here. So here's where the daily pages are. I will come back to Saturday and do some work on there and also work on Sunday. But in the interim, so Monday, and the reason that I put this task right here, which is below those task boxes, is because I routinely put workout budget journal 5-year right up top here. So I wanted to give the space for that. And I realized I only said 4 things and 5 boxes. It makes sense in my brain. Apologies. So what I'm going to do here is I will now anchor these to the time just to give myself kind of a visual each day of what it looks like so that I know what I can put for my to-do list. If I have a day like Wednesday, which you will visually see that in a moment, that's very packed full of meeting, or observation, meeting. I'm not going to be able to add many tasks to my list. So I don't want to overload it. All right, so 11:30, just wanted to check. And instead of flipping back and forth, I'm still referencing my Google Calendar, or my, I guess, iCal on an iPad off to the side. And then 5 o'clock. I have a board of director meeting. And this pen that I'm using is a Pelican M600. And it's inked up with J. Urban 1670 Stormy Gray, which is a very dark gray shading, kind of leans black. and it has a gold shimmer. I did not agitate the bottle fully, so the shimmer was not fully mixed in with the ink, so it should be a light shimmer. All right, and then Tuesday the 23rd, 8:15, lower elementary consult, and then I put a slash because I then have an 8:30 upper elementary IEP meeting. I will put this one on the 12 o'clock line because it's so close to 12 o'clock. So I have an upper elementary consult. And then at 1 o'clock, I have a meeting with the upper elementary admin and the other district BCBA. So I'm going to tuck this pencil board in so that I can turn the page. And I turned 2 pages. There we go. Wednesday. All right, so 8 o'clock. I have a lower elementary consult. 9 o'clock, I have an upper elementary consult. At 10:15, I have a middle school IEP meeting. At 12:30, I have a upper elementary consult. 1:30 is a AIM SEL follow-up, and then 2 o'clock is a lower elementary consult. So this is a day where my workday goes from about 7:30 to 2:45, and this IEP meeting will likely go until 11:45. Maybe it could go until 12:30 because it is a 3-year review. Every 3 years, for a student to remain eligible for special education services, they need to go through a set of evaluations to determine that based on the results of those evaluations, they still require special education support. And so depending on each child, they have a different set of evaluations. They could have 1 evaluation, they could have 7. And each person that evaluates has an opportunity to go over their evaluation results, gives the parents an opportunity to ask any questions, and then the results then lead to recommendations for what skills to work on, which would then be discussed as a team in terms of how that would fit into a new IEP and what accommodations or modifications are needed. In a nutshell. So this is a 3-year reevaluation. I've seen 3-year reevaluations get done in as quick as kind of 20, 30 minutes and as long as 6, 7, 8 hours. I don't think this is going to be a 6, 7, 8 hour one. And those are, by the way, broken up into 2 or 3 chunks. I think the longest I've ever sat in an IEP meeting is 4 hours. That was not fun, but is what it is. All right, Thursday, At 8:15, I have that lower elementary consult that I may not go to because I might be fading out. 11 o'clock is my kindergarten AIM group. 1 o'clock is an upper elementary IEP meeting. 2 o'clock is a middle school AIM group. 2:30 middle school consult. Just going to leave it at CO period. Now this IEP meeting is scheduled for an hour. However, it could go longer than an hour. And if it does, I am in that. The 2 o'clock middle school AIM group is co-led. So there's a team of us that run that group. And so if I'm not there, that is perfectly fine. And then on Friday morning at 8:15, I am now starting my day at the lower elementary. And then I'm scooting over to the middle school for their crisis team. And then I have a middle school consult. And I have BCBA lunch. This is a bi-weekly meeting with my colleague and I where we talk about district level things. Oh, I should have wrote 12 o'clock, but okay. Therapy, and then it's at 7 o'clock. Live music. We probably will be leaving for Maine. Actually, I don't want to put that. But I will put, so this is about the fanciest that I will get. But I want to start creating a space for a packing list. Just to make sure we have everything that we need for this trip to Maine. And very excited. It'll be nice to have that time. All right, so I'm going to tuck this in here and let's look at yesterday. So like I said, I had been on vacation this past week. Some things that I did is I went to Marathon Monday. I did some work on YouTube with figuring out editing, and I've said this a couple of times, but I know I have some viewers that just watch my fountain pen videos and some viewers that just watch my planning and some that watch all, and I appreciate each and every one of you. But I'd gotten some feedback about the sound quality and there being a background hum, so I figured that out. In the process of figuring that out, the way that I then uploaded my videos, I didn't realize that there was a reduction in resolution. So that was pointed out and I figured that out. And then I ran out of space on my laptop and I had to figure out a whole workflow, which I finally have. And I'm able to get the time down a little bit. It was taking me about an hour and a half per video. I think I was able to effectively multitask so that it wasn't me sitting there and watching my computer for an hour and a half, because some of my uploads were canceling partway through and I was missing it if I wasn't right there, which was a waste of time. Anyway, so yesterday I did not work out. I don't love that I didn't work out, but I did journal. I did 5-year, I did budget, and I did the new pen day video, and I also did a clinical observation report. So that clinical observation report was a project that was comprised of many tasks. So I've got the project there and I have the tasks down here. So I summarized the observations, I summarized the executive function questionnaire, I summarized the teacher interviews, I did a general summary and recommendations. I did not include the Swiss data because it wasn't as robust as I thought it would be. But what I didn't put in here that I did do is the behavior interview that I did with the student. So that was done. Um, and that took a good chunk of the day yesterday. I was working on this from um, 11 o'clock to 2:30, and then from 3:30 to 5 o'clock. And then I was able to submit it. What I will say is, probably had I not been feeling a little bit of a time crunch, because the student's special education liaison sent all of the reports at 10 o'clock in the morning, even though they didn't need to go home until this morning because the meeting is on Tuesday. I then was a little panicked. I thought I had all day yesterday to get it done, and some hours this morning, but that wasn't the case. So I had to kind of hustle and then respond in the email chain to add mine in to maintain the most level professionalism that I could. Um, Now, one thing that I am going to go back and kind of, well, I mean, the way I do it anyway is it's back memory keeping, but I did not do any of the weekly this week. um, and one question that I will throw out there, and if people are commenting today, I will go ahead and do this today, is I would be happy to film this while I fill it out if people have an interest in that. Um, but so for today, my plan is to my kind of top 4 workout, budget, journal, 5-year. And then I also need to, which I'm doing this now, film plan with me. And then I'm going to put the side task here. It's going to be upload, edit, export, upload, thumbnail. I've also started to get a little bit fancier on my thumbnail game, so hopefully that is going well. And then I have a functional behavior assessment to start working on today. For the functional behavior assessment, for that one, I need to summarize observations, teacher interview. Oops. Wow, that was awful. Teacher interviews, parent interview, student interview, data from teachers, counselor, nurse, and executive function, questionnaire, and then last is summary, recommendations, and background. Oops. Oh, and attendance. This is a student that in my interviews, it was mentioned that there might be a little bit of uh, increased absences due to school refusal from anxiety. So I just want to include that. Um, so a lovely, lovely, lovely young person that I got to interview. I really enjoyed my time doing that. And is there anything else? I don't think so. I will know probably around 1 o'clock if my son will be staying home sick tomorrow. And so I want to chug through and work on this FBA this morning. If he is homesick tomorrow, I get to do a good old pause and I can pick it back up tomorrow and I can kind of relax and enjoy the rest of my last vacation day. But there is that. If you did make it to the end, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. If you are not subscribed, please take a moment and join so that you know when I post new content. You can set up an alert or it will come up on your in your subscriptions on YouTube and you can get a little red dot notification. Um, if you enjoyed this content and you want to send a little thank you my way, feel free to use the Venmo noted in my description. Um, and you can tell me to put that money towards a new pen, or I will use it to buy myself a coffee treat every now and then. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the time that you spent with me today, and I hope you have a wonderfully productive week.